Hello, good afternoon. Today we are going to deal with topic number 1, the history of foreign language teaching methodology, current tendencies in the English foreign language methodology, and the communicative approaches. Let's move on. First of all, I would like to say that there has been a lot of theorizing about the foreign language teaching and learning in the past, but now it tends to be more scientific, based on data. The goal today is to review the theories and approaches and apply them to our students depending on their needs on each moment. As an approach, we understand a series of theories about the nature of teaching, whereas a method is based on practical and theoretical discussions. In the case of the grammar translation method, it is considered as a tradition because it was focused on grammar and on Latin and Greek language. The goal was to be proficient in reading for the study of classical masterpieces in literature. The direct method, on the other hand, was a reaction to the grammar translation method in 1850 to 1900. The emphasis was on spoken language, and the first language was strongly restricted. The introduction of phonetics into the foreign language teaching was very important, and it will have a great influence in future methods. During the 50s in the USA, there is a big need for the military personnel to be communicative competent, and they needed translators, interpreters, so the priority was in speaking rather than reading or writing. Classes were small, students were usually highly motivated, and the classes were devoted to long hours of drilling and active practice. Behaviorism and contrastive analysis were the basic theories where this method was based, where language is a habit formation process, and we learn the differences of the different languages, not the similarities. After that, there is a new tendencies of considering language learning as an acquisition of a cognitive skill. So it's not only controlling the structures, but understanding them. And in this way, drilling was not that important. Errors in that sense were a consequence of learning a language. However, there was no real new activities proposed for this approach. There are other humanistic approaches during the last years which focus also on the development of the whole person and not only their language. For example, in the case of community language learning, the goal is to create strong bonds among a small group of students. The figure of the teacher is as a counselor, just fostering interaction. Secondly, the total physical response focuses on students performing actions, and this has been very successful with younger learners. In the case of the silent way, it is named like that because the teacher is supposed to say as little as possible, and it's the students who do the heavy lifting. Finally, the Suggestopedia is a theory that is based on the importance of the environment that might or might not help us to learn, such as playing classical music. Other trends are the natural language learning, which attempts to recreate the natural environment where children learn their first language. However, it has been idealized because there are many immigrants who do not learn without formal instruction. Task-based approach is the one that the British Council has used for their teaching, and they consider that learning is happens when you practice the language by exposure. So the syllabus is organized into topics and tasks that are presented as problems for the students. Also, we have other tendencies that try to focus on the strategies as very important for the students to learn a language. Finally, the most important approach nowadays is considered the communicative approach. It gives greatest importance to the language as communication. There was great dissatisfaction with previous methods, and so the European Union proposed a new research on how to teach a foreign language. And finally, Heinz in 1972 coined the term communicative competence. The implications are: A. Communicative implies semantic. So we are not using just structures, but try to convey meaning. B. Complex relationship between language and function. So when we want to apologize, for example, we have different ways of using different structures. So not only one form, but different ones. C. Accuracy rather than correctness. So now it's more important the social part, where we can communicate better with some people. D. Communication is relevant in all 4 language skills, not only the oral part or the written part, but the 4 skills. Then communication also goes beyond the level of sentence. In a text, in a conversation, we understand better than just in a sentence. F. Communicative can refer to language and behavior. So because language is a social skill, our behavior is shown through language. So which is the best method? Well, I would say that we need to use the method that is most appropriate to each moment for every student. So I recommend an eclectic approach. Thank you so much, and see you in our next video.